pride be the reason that you lose. Don't let pride be the reason that you lose.
What's up, y'all? This is the Plain Black Rapper Podcast, and I'm your host, Nytelife. Thanks for joining me again. It's been great. Again, enjoying the feedback. Thank you for the interaction. I got a lot of good compliments as far as content that I've been putting up. I got stopped yesterday, told by one of my friends, like, you know, they feel like it's real. They feel like it's making sense. They feel like it's making a difference. So I'm going to continue to do that. So thank you for all the support. That's the only way I know how to do it. I don't know how to do it any other way. I just want to make sure that this is connecting with people. And I'm talking about stuff that matters, man. I'm just not up here, you know, this entertainment is cool and having a good time is cool. But I think sometimes you just got to be real and let people know where your mind frame is at and then see if, you know, they match up with you. And that's kind of what I'm going to be talking about today. I'll do the general thing that we have to do. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel for, you know, Mitchell Media Review, for Plain Black Rapper Podcast and all the other stuff that I put out. So thank you. Subscribe, you know what I'm saying? Do your thing. But now that that's all out the way, let's go ahead and get into this topic. So today's topic is kind of going to be, excuse my French moment, you know what I'm saying? You know, a part of my language, if you will. The topic is, I don't give a fuck. Now, that can be taken a number of ways. It's not, I don't give a fuck being careless. It's not being careless. It's not being reckless. It's not, you know, not being calculated. But it's freedom. It's freedom. There's so much freedom in not giving a fuck about stuff. We work so hard to put ourselves in a box of acceptance, whether that be creativity, whether that be work, whether that be church, whether that be wherever it is that we go to in social settings, we feel a need to be able to accommodate ourselves to be able to fit in instead of relaxing and being ourselves. Now, the thing about it, I'm talking about it in the sense of creativity, really, because when you're trying to fit into, you know, everybody's box, it stifles your creativity. You automatically cut off a lot of things that you would normally try, and you throw them out the window because you want to stay in an acceptable lane for people. You're trying to make yourself palatable to people. You're trying to make your sound palatable to people. You're trying to make your art palatable to people. But that's not what art is designed to do. It's not designed to do that. You know, stop listening to the noise and trying to make everyone love what you do or love you, for that matter. Why are we doing this? We just crave acceptance. You know, don't lose the essence of who you are by trying to be accepted. I think we do a lot of that. I've done a lot of that over the course of my life, because of the simple fact of there are rooms that I've wanted to get in. There's people that I've wanted to be around. There is people that I want to be with, and finding ways to be able to accommodate myself to fit their you know, mold of what I should be or how you should act or fit in or be in the clique or whatever it is. You do that, and then you put yourself in a position where you lose yourself. You know, you go to anywhere that you go to, you can still be professional at work and be yourself. You can still go to church and still worship, but be yourself. You can be in front and meeting people for the first time and still be respectful without code switching and changing. And I know that's difficult because society has taught us that we have to speak in a certain manner. We have to present ourselves in a certain manner to be palatable for what they deem as professional, respectful, church worthy, what is acceptable for you to just be out in social settings when you in the hood and you with your folks or whatever, when you with your family. There's no opportunity for relaxation and being who you are in those moments because of the simple fact that you're kind of just trying to calibrate yourself to be able to fit instead of just making everybody, this is me, I'm just going to be who I am and that's it. And some people are very good at that. And it's something that I had to learn. And that's part of I don't give a fuck right there, is to say, you have these moments where you go into situations and it's just like you feel uptight, you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel yourself, you feel, real just bottled up and congested, and you can't breathe because of the simple fact of you trying to fit into whatever it is, wherever it is you're at. And the best things you can do for yourself is not put that pressure on yourself. And it is damning to creativity to put pressure on yourself to be able to try to fit to what everybody else is doing. How do I sound like this person? How do I make my art like this person? How do I cook like this person? Instead of being able to bring your own level of different categories, flavors, you know, specificity, just all kinds of things that you can bring your nuances to whatever it is that you're doing. And when you don't allow yourself to do that, you kind of cut out opportunity for people to be able to see something different. And people want to see something different. Don't let social media fool you. Although social medias are want and need to crave acceptance, has kind of forced us in this box because we want to be accepted. We want to be looked at as funny. We want to be looked at as, you know, as witty. We want to be looked at as, you know, beautiful or handsome. Or we want to be looked at as, affable and all of that type of shit. And when you are looking at that, it's almost like you checking boxes to be able to do that, and that's what the like system and heart system is all created. It's all on just affirmation. Oh, well, hey, they think I'm pretty because they like this, or they commented this, or they think I'm funny because they laughed at my meme that I put up, or laughed at a video clip that I put up, or whatever. And those things lend themselves to fooling you into thinking that you have to do things a certain way. And when you do that, it puts so much pressure on you to the point where you lose yourself. You're not being yourself. When I do these Plain Black Rapper podcasts, I just try to be who I am, man. I'm not nothing special. I ain't greater than nobody. I ain't better than nobody. I'm not trying to do that. All I'm trying to do is find people that's relatable. Again, when I talked about finding your village, I'm just trying to find my village. And my village is people that just deal with shit just like I do, go through shit just like I do. They are the ones that relate to my struggle, relate to my moments of glory, relate to my moments that I have achieved things, or I have failed, or that I am low, or whatever it is that I am. I'm trying to find where those people are to relate to me. And sometimes in your walks of life, you just end up running into people like that. And these are what these are designed for. They're not designed for, I'm not trying to change nobody's life. I mean, I'm just trying to be out here and let y'all know that, it's humans that walk out here. It's people that makes mistakes. It's people that are steeped in folly. That type of shit is like, it's normal. It's okay to deal with that. It's okay to be in those realms, because I think we do so much front facing and trying to look great, or look the part, or look like we are acceptable, that we tarnish what it is that's actually behind all of those things that we are projecting. um it's okay for you, when people are looking for something, it's okay for you to tell them no. It's okay for you to tell them, nah, not today. And it goes to the peer pressure thing that we used to have to deal with as kids, and we still deal with it as adults today, because people feel like you should be a certain way. Oh, you're not listening to this type of music. Oh, you don't understand this, or you don't smoke, or you don't drink. And you put yourself in social settings where you can be like, nah, I'm cool, and people are accept that. I put myself around people and in social settings to not be looked at as, oh, you square ass. What do you mean you don't do that? You don't do that? You don't smoke? No, I don't. I just don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't relate to it. So, it's no disrespect to people that do, people that, that's a culture, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I respect, I don't, look at my friends or look at my people that I'm around any differently when they go take a walk. Go ahead and do your thing. It's fine. and they don't look at me crazy when I take a drink. It's just that's just what we do. Whatever's adaptable to you in social settings is what you do, as long as you're not harming anybody, you're not trying to hurt anybody, or you're trying to force people to do what you want them to do. And that's part of that social pressure. Like, force you to be, oh, you're not Republican, oh, you're not a Democrat, oh, you're not a conservative, oh, you're not this, or you're not a Trump supporter, oh, you don't support Biden, oh, you don't support. It doesn't matter. What your beliefs are your beliefs, as long as they aren't trying to be made to be my beliefs. I don't care. I got friends as Trump supporters. I got friends that are in all walks of life that do all types of things. Um, and when you have that range of people that are around you, it's easier to stay grounded because you kind of get a sense for what's going on in the world. You want perspective. You want to see where they're coming from with stuff. Those are ideas and conversations that need to be had. And I know it's rough, but you just got to be able to put all the other bullshit aside and be willing to have those conversations with people that are smart and people that can have intelligent conversations when it comes to that. Because I think it's rough um, when you have people that are ignorant and you try to have those conversations with people that are ignorant, then you're going to run into situations where you're going to lose a little bit. So, yeah, you feel like you're going to lose a little bit, but you can't. What you do is you miss out on an opportunity to get understanding when you're not willing to have those conversations. You're being hard headed. You're not willing to walk amongst the people that are out here living day to day, that are going through certain things and that believe in certain things that you may not believe in. Um, as long as I'm treated well, properly, respectfully, then I can respectfully have conversations with you regarding your opinions on things that necessarily are not shared by me. And that's just some adulting shit. That's not that's not trying to pander or be reasonable, or backing down, or being like, just being anti or nothing like that. That's not it. That's just being willing to have those conversations. um but just getting back to the topic at hand, we're all guilty. And when it comes to being in situations of acceptance is kind of a disease, and the cure is basically I don't give. It is. Inventors build to fill needs that creators don't. We're built to invoke emotion and feelings. We want you to feel in the moment. Relatability. I want you to feel and be where I am as a creator. Inventors solve problems. This is a gap as far as something that is not really functional for what it is that need to be done. I'm going to invent something to fill this gap, to make it better, to make it more efficient. And there's needs for all of that. But you can't lump the creators in with the inventors, because the inventors, again, are finding a need to fill it. The creators are finding an emotional avenue to grasp at people's heartstrings. And I think that's the difference. Um, but when you're in the inventor mode, you're finding a need to fill it. You're finding a need to fill it, but you're also trying to find a formula that you can replicate and continue to do over and over and over again that is successful, that will make you money, that will get you paid, and that will get people to, basically come up and want to partake in your product. And that's the difference. Like I said, is the difference between the creators. I mean, the creators are just like, all right, well, let me find something that's going to appeal to you, that makes you want to, makes you want to, understand where I'm coming from, and make it feel like I understand where you're coming from, and then you want more of that. That's emotional appeal. And there's nothing wrong with having emotional appeal. The problem is that when you're a creator and you try to homogenize it and make it commercial, or you try to make it palatable, or you try to make it, I guess, more in the inventor lane, where you're going to replicate that and you make a formula out of it. I'm just going to make songs that are formulaic, and I'll find the people that's going to nod their head to this. So I'm just going to keep making this. Then you're no longer a creator in that sense. You're basically an inventor, and you are creating a product. You're not trying to get people to invoke emotion. You're creating a product. You want the same response over and over again. You're McDonald's. You go to McDonald's, it's going to taste like McDonald's wherever McDonald's that you go to in America. It's the same. When you go to the mom and pop's diner, it's going to be different from when you're going to different restaurants. There's going to be a different feel. There's going to be a different essence. They're going to just, you're there for the people. You're there for the service. You're there for the ambiance. You're there for the food, the taste, the feeling the emotion that it evokes for you to be able to go there and eat is what is important about that experience. You're part of the experience. Part of the experience is you going there and being a part of that experience. Going to McDonald's is not an experience. Going to Kentucky Fried Chicken is not an experience. But when you go to restaurants that have an ambiance and a feel, and they have their own own thing that you can relate to, then you go there because it invokes something in you. It may invoke a memory. It may invoke just anything. And it's the same thing when you go see art. It's the same thing. You are going there to see what you feel when you see it. When you see somebody painting a painting that you like and you interpret it a certain way, you are in it because that's the way that you feel at that point. Not just basically the stamp logo that you get, or just the regular drawings or regular muses that you'll see. You're not just wrapped up into that. And that's some of the importance of creativity versus inventing shit and ingenuity and that part. You have to be able to be a part of there's a happy medium, I think, that you can meet with it. But sometimes when you're going for the buck as opposed to you going for the art, then something's going to be lost, because you got to make it generic in some fashion to be able to go, okay, I don't want to capture the few. I want to capture the many. When you want to capture the many, that's like, okay, you got to broaden all your demographics. How do you reach the 20s? How do you reach the 30s? How do you reach the 40s? How do you reach the 50s? How do you reach all of those people so where everybody enjoys what it is that you do? And there's a sense of you having to kind of homogenize your shit a little bit to get to that point. And, if that's your thing, that's your thing. But for me, art-wise, it's like, get back to the point. Finding the village. Just trying to find my village. So continue to build and find that, but use that freedom of not really giving a damn about something in the sense of throwing caution to the wind and just doing what it is you do. Stop worrying about what other people are thinking about it. Stop worrying about what other people view you as. Stop worrying about what people have sonically put you in a box and say that you're not this and that, and it's weird, and it's, as long as you feel good about it, That's all that matters. And people are going to have their opinions. People are going to say it's good, bad, and different. That's just it. But you have to continue to push on. And as long as in your heart you feel this way to do this, then you're going to be successful because you're going to find somebody that feels the way that you do. And they may be the minority or it could be the majority. It all depends on how it shakes out. But the one person that like your stuff is just as important as 1,000 people that like your stuff because somebody feels the way that you do about the art that you created in that moment to express it. And I know that's tough for some people to deal with because they're pressured to want to do certain things. But when you don't give a damn, you don't give a fuck, like you just do shit. You just out here. That's one of the good things about getting older is that I just don't care. I don't have the I don't have that pressure to be able to try to fit in nowhere. I'm just gonna be myself. I'm just gonna do what it is that I do. I'm going to create how I want to create. I'm gonna keep doing music, even though people told me that I'm too old to be doing music. I need to be doing jazz or whatever it is that these kids be saying. I don't care, man. As long as people think it's dope, or there's people around me that think it's dope, I don't care, man. As long as I relate to folks, I just don't care. I'm beyond it. I'm building a legacy right now. I'm building a legacy with this podcast. And hey, I don't care if I got five viewers or 5 listeners every pod. Good. At least those 5 people looking for me. They into it. This means something to them. That's all that matters to me. I don't care, man. Just had that freedom. I had a dude jump in a post I had and was just like, well, you don't really do nothing. You're not important. You're just a hobbyist. You're not even a professional musician. Okay. What do you know? How are you going to tell somebody about blah, 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 blah? How are you going to judge people? That's part of the gig, man. It's part of the gig. Being on the gauntlet is part of the gig. I judge. That's what I do. But you're not hurting my feelings by telling me that. I'm continuing to be relatable. I know I'm confident in myself and what I do. I know what I do. I know who I am. Long as I know who I am, that shit don't matter to me. You made yourself feel good in that moment by trying to cut somebody else down, and that's just the way that you live, which means you're a miserable fucking soul. And that's just what it is. You make yourself look like that. Whenever it is that you go out of your way to trash what somebody else is doing, and you intentionally want to hurt them, and you intentionally want to try to troll, or you intentionally want to do things, it shows how miserable you are. Because you're the type of person, or those are the type of people that look at situations and trying to find somebody that's worse off than them so they can say, at least I'm not him or her. My life is shit, but it ain't like that. And if you're a person that finds fortune in others' misfortune, get from around me with that. I don't need that. That's the worst. Those are the worst people that you can have around you. Those are the ones that will kill all kinds of energy, momentum, poke holes and shit, trying to play the devil's advocate role, but they ain't really devil's advocate. They just really just want to push your buttons and try to see how far they can nudge you before they piss you off. Like, you don't need them folks around you, man. Them is energy vampires. And all they gonna do is take from you because that's their drug. That's how they get off, is trying to see how they can make you feel bad, how they can make you feel inadequate, they can make you feel worse than them in that moment. They look at you and feel like they got to knock you down a couple pegs. Oh, you feeling yourself a little too much. You feeling a little too good. Let me bring you back to reality a little bit? Who are you to try to bring me back to reality? Who are you to try to step in front of my happiness? Who are you to try to make me feel indifferent? Because you want to be judge and jury and you want to knock me down to make a point. You're just making yourself look like an idiot. You just act like an idiot. Now, I know I don't really just be going directly into people like that, but man, it's bad. It's bad. And it's worse than ever now because, like I was saying earlier, social media is a place where we are addicted to being told that we of a certain ilk. It is a gauge on how people make us feel. They think I'm attractive. They think I'm cute. They think I'm funny. They think that I am witty. They think I'm smart. And you open yourself up by doing that, and then you're gonna have those 1, 2, 3 people that are gonna be out there, and they're gonna be going for blood, trying to hurt you, trying to knock you down, trying to make you look worse than they do. And as long as you continue on that path, that's the rules of engagement with social media. That's the rules of engagement with just putting your stuff out there. That's the rules of engagement of any creator. Is take it for what it is. You either like it or you don't. And as long as you understand that that is the path, then you have freedom. You have I don't give a fuck freedom. You have I don't care freedom. You have passion. You have passion. You don't have to deal with that. You don't have to wait for acceptance. You don't have to wait for people to validate. You don't have to wait for people to say that you're good and pat you on the head and tell you good job. The reward is in the process. The reward is being able to create it. When you make something and somebody buys it, you accomplished a whole hell of a lot because somebody thought that you were worth their money, their time, their investment to be able to pay for something that you made. You made that. You made that piece of art. You made that music. You made that broadcast. You made things. You made that food, that plate. You created that service. You did all of those things. And somebody paid for it. That is validation. Not the people that tell you why they shouldn't pay for it and that your prices are too high and that, oh, it's not even good enough and I could get this over here for this and you're just doing something that somebody else is doing. All of that shit don't matter. It don't. So continue to find ways to find your own validation. Continue to find people in a village that accepts you, that loves you, that appreciates what it is that you do. And if they don't, you just appreciate yourself. That's what you do. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. But thank you for joining me again for the Plain Black Rapper podcast. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, share, download, tell people about it, get people involved. You know what I'm saying? I'd like to see more viewers. So thank you for joining me for episode 58. And I'll go ahead and write out difficult roads often lead to most beautiful destinations. Shoot your shot, go for the win. You might make it. Peace.